Your goal while watching this video is to refresh your memory about how to multiply and divide fractions. So, writing a whole number as a fraction. If you see a number like 2, all right, the whole number 2, please remember that I can also write that as 2 over 1, or 2 divided by 1, because 2 divided by 1 is 2. All right, so writing 2 is the same as writing 2 over 1, which is the same as 2 divided by 1, which is the same as 2. If I gave you the whole number 17, I could write that as a fraction by using 17 as my numerator and 1 as my denominator. If I wanted to check if I was right, I would just do the division problem and take 17 divided by 1, which is 17. All right, so quick review of what multiplying means, okay? If I take 4 times 2, I get 8, right? Duh. So then, if I was to take 4 as a whole number, whoops, that wasn't supposed to happen. Right? If I was to take 4, my whole number 4, and write it as a fraction, 4 over 1 times 2 over 1, we know we should still get 8. So how do I get that? I multiply my numerators together and get 8. I multiply my denominators together and get 1. 8 over 1, 8 divided by 1 is just 8. So when we multiply fractions, we have just proved why what we do to multiply fractions works. All right, we proved it with whole numbers. 4 times 2 we know is 8. If I would write the fraction 4 over 1 times the fraction 2 over 1, the way that I still get 8 is by multiplying the numerators and multiplying the denominators. All right, so in this case, we'll do what we just did. When you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerators and you multiply the denominators. So 6 times 4, 24. If you wrote that as your answer to this problem, I would give you half credit, but I can simplify this fraction. So first I'm going to check, can I divide both numbers, both the numerator and the denominator, by 2? I cannot. Can I divide them both by 3? I can't. So 15 divided by 3 is 5. 24 divided by 3 is 8. And 5/8 is in simplest form. Okay, so now we're going to talk about dividing and why the process we use to divide fractions works. Okay, so if I take 4 divided by 4, I get 1, right? All right, so, and remember we could also write that as 4 over 1 divided by 4 over 1. I get 1. If I want to translate that to multiplying, how do I get 1 when I multiply 4 times something? Okay, how about 4 times 1/4? Multiply my numerators, 4, multiply my denominators, get 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. All right, so it turns out that dividing by a number is the same as multiplying by that number's reciprocal, or flip. Okay, so over on this side, we took 4 over 1 divided by 4 over 1, and we got 1. On this side, we changed the divide to multiply. And instead of dividing by 4 over 1, after we changed it to multiply, we took the reciprocal of 4 over 1 to 1/4. So when you divide fractions, you multiply by the reciprocal. Multiplying by the reciprocal is the same as dividing. Okay, so in this case, we have 2/3 divided by 9/10. Okay, but we just proved on the last page that dividing is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of this. The fraction that comes before the division sign does not flip. We do not take the reciprocal of that. We only take the reciprocal of the fraction that comes after the divide sign that we're changing to multiplying. So this fraction does not come after a divide sign. So I'm just going to copy it down as it is. All right, then I change divide to multiply. And this fraction did come after a division sign, so I'm going to flip that. I'm going to find its reciprocal, which is just 1/9. All right, so now I just follow my multiplication rules. It's beautiful. I love multiplying fractions because it's so simple. 2 times 10 is 20. 3 times 9 is 27. I want to know if I can simplify that. So in my head, I try to divide both of these by 2. Does not work. Try to divide them both by 3. Does not work. Try to divide them both by 5. does not work, usually those are my go-tos. I try dividing by 2, 3, and 5 to see if it will simplify. You can also try 7 would be a good one, but usually most numbers, if they can be divided by 2, that's a good way to simplify. We might have to divide them by 2 again later, right? So this I cannot simplify. That is my final answer for that problem, and I would get full credit if I put that answer in a quiz. Okay, now one thing that happens is people get the rules for division and multiplying confused. So in this example that I have, 2/3 times 3/4, it's not uncommon for me to see students do this. 2/3 times, oh, have to take the reciprocal, 4/3. All right, but that would not be correct. Remember, you only take the reciprocal of fractions that come after the divide sign. So this beautiful problem, multiply, it's already multiplying. I don't have to change anything. So I just get to go ahead and do what I love to do, which is multiply the numerators together. So 2 times 3, multiply the denominators together, 3 times 4, and get 6/12, which I can simplify. I could divide both numbers by 2, but I'll have to then divide them by 2 again. Or I could see that 6 is a factor of both numbers, and so I'm going to divide both of these by 6 and get 1/2. But again, if you didn't see that they could be divided by 6, that's okay. Hopefully it's easy for you to see that they can be divided by 2. So then we get 3/6, and I see that these can both be divided by 3. So if you divide them by the greatest common factor first, then you're going to get 1/2 a lot faster and easier. But if you have to do a couple divides to get it simplified all the way down, that's okay. All right, I'll still arrive at the right answer. Now I have the exact same problem on the right side of this screen, but this one is divide. Okay? So in this one I say, all right, this number, does it come after division? No. So that one we keep as 2/3. Here is a divide sign, which I'm going to change to multiply. And then this number comes after the divide sign, so I need its reciprocal, which is 4/3. And now, boom, it's beautiful, multiplying fractions, which we love. All right, so I multiply my numerators, multiply my denominators. 2 times 4 gives me 8, 3 times 3 gives me 9, and that fraction is already in simplest form. Okay, in the case that you get a whole number and you need to multiply it or divide it, it's not hard. It looks a little weird at first, but just change it into a fraction. So we know that 8 is the same as 8/1, or 8 divided by 1. So this problem just becomes 8/1 times 2/3. Over here, same thing. 8 is the same as the fraction 8/1, because 8 divided by 1 is 8. So this problem becomes 8/1 divided by 2/3. I won't solve that. I think you could probably do that part. All right, we have another case of a division and multiplication problem. Hang on, okay. This is the last one. So for this one, I want you to find your answer. You're going to have 2 answers that you submit on Edmodo. The answer for the multiplication problem in simplest form, please.